Hello and welcome back to Matty G 111. This is Another Corpse, Part 4. Not too far from the police station is my shop and home. Just around the corner I turn and there it is. Just a usual looking building, grey and made of stone. Our advertisement hanging above the door at the front. The Nandi weaponry, it says. My family have been known to be making weapons and armour for generations, and people have been coming to us for about that as long as I've known. I walk inside the shop, everything the same as I left it. Firearms to the back, swords on the racks, and some plates of armour here and there. I was greeted by a beautiful woman, blonde hair down past the shoulders, eyes as blue as the ocean, that when we look directly into you, will sweep you away. And today, a lovely red dress she wears. She realizes me and asks, "Any success for today?" Her voice is soft as butter, left to melt. By the way she caught me under her charm. "Of course," I reply, and move towards her for our ritual peck on the lips. While still in each other's arms, I inquire, "Before I tell you something good, anything sold today?" "Nothing of significance. Only ammunition and one pistol." "What do you mean, something good?" she replied. In eagerness she asked, "I may have found out where these beasts are coming from, but they are wherever I have found them too. So there is a potential bad to come, but I spoke to the chief, and he's collecting the necessary items as we speak to get rid of them." Her face in thought. She then asks me for more details, which then I begin to explain everything that happened, and after a few minutes she answers. This gives excitement and fear. We must be careful tonight and be ready for anything, and hope the next day it can all be ended. I share the same thoughts. Where is my boy, I ask. "Practicing to be like his father." "He's down the basement bow shooting," said my wife, and in a cheeky tone I reply, "Might have to go show him a few tips on how it's probably done. I'll go collect him for lunch too." I begin my way to the basement where he is practicing. Travelling down the wooden stairs, I hear the dull thud of an arrow hitting a sack. At the bottom, the brick-lined floor, I see my boy and the target he tried to hit, just below the mark. He still hasn't noticed me entering. He's completely focused on the task, so I decide to sneak up on my tiny mirror and surprise him. I'm right behind him now, and before he draws the next shot, I leap to his shoulders and shout, "Bah!" His 10-year-old body drops slightly in response and lets out a yelp. He turns to see it's me and gets a little mad as I laugh at what I did. He then says, "That was not very nice, father. Almost about to hit the bullseye." I reply, "Oh, of course you were. I'll leave you to the next shot then. Go on and hit it for me, Marcus." He nods, turns and picks up an arrow from a pot filled with sand and with arrows jabbed within it. He knocks his arrow and takes his time to eye the target. He draws, fires and misses the shot. Frustrated, he stomps his foot on the ground. I grab his bow arm and begin a lesson. I direct him in the correct position that should hit the target and explain to him he needs to relax before taking the shot. He draws this time. He hits the sack, but just an inch away from the target. In celebration we cheer. I then say, "Well, if you keep that up, I may have to have some competition on my hands. What you say we head upstairs for lunch?" He nods in agreement again. We make our way up from the basement, and then another set of stairs to the living room above the shop. Once in the kitchen, my wife is there setting up the table. It looks like pork and cheese sandwiches today. We all gather around the table. Marcus thanks his mother, and I do the same, and we begin to enjoy a family lunch together. While sitting down, I decide to mention, "Before I forget, we've been invited for dinner, and we'll probably stay the night also. The chief insisted we do. How does a sleepover sound, Marcus? In a mansion?" His jaw still munching down the sandwich, he grins and nods, bits of pork and cheese in his teeth. His mother stares at me and asks, "Shall I pack an overnight kit then?" "Yes, and make sure you have the appropriate attire for the night," I say in a jesting manner. She smiles and replies, "I'll make sure to pack all the essentials then." "Alright, it's official. Dinner and a sleepover," I say as I'm finishing up my last few bites of the sandwich. I see Marcus trying to keep up. I ask, "Well, since we've got a couple more hours to waste, how about we go shoot more arrows, Marcus?" In presumed agreement, he wipes his face clean and dashes down the stairs ready to start. His mother looking at me and says a few words. "I'll close up the shop now. It's past 2 and we need to prepare." "Agreed. I'll shoot with the boy for a little and then we'll get ready for tonight," I replied and followed my boy down to the basement to practice. When it reached 5:30 in the afternoon, I stopped my lesson with Marcus and make my way up with him to the upstairs to his mother in the shop, where she has changed out of her red dress and now wearing a shirt and trousers with pistols strapped to her sides. Her hair being braided tight, and on the bench where we serve customers a leather bag full of other assortments of weapons. "You look ravishing this evening, my dear Edith," I say which provokes a grin out of her. She then goes to Marcus and kneels to his height and explains to him that tonight he has to stay by her side and mine. He is fully aware of what I do and what is out there, and even at 10 years of age he understands. I speak to Marcus as well. "Let's go freshen up for dinner then." I take him upstairs to wash his face and get a good pair of clean clothes on him and myself. Once around 6:30 p.m, we are dressed and prepped for the night. We lock up the place and begin our walk to the mansion for the evening. As we make our way down the streets, they were dark. The street lights and lamps of carts are the only thing that bring light to Mortimer in the evenings. We've been walking for some time now, and are getting closer and closer to our destination, as the building can be seen as we turn down the street. The broken window now boarded up with wood for now, and at the door, finally, I give a few solid knocks, and then the husband answers. He opens it up with a smile, but in his eyes showing concern. He speaks in confidence. "Ah, welcome. The chief has informed me you'll be spending the night as well. Splendid. Dinner's almost ready. Please come in." I shake his hand. He introduces himself as Arthur Waldron and walks us inside and guides us to the dining room. In the dining room, it is big and grand just like the other rooms in this house. Tall ceilings, well-lit, large dining tables with assortment of candles and flower decorations. Plates and silverware perfectly placed and enough chairs for all of us to sit. 2 people already sitting, the mother with her child in her arms, who smiles and greets first with her name, which is Mary, and her sons, Leonard. I introduce my family one by one, all smiles and warm greetings to each. The husband instructs me to place the bag filled with our goods by the wall near the table, and so we can begin our dinner. Once all seated, we talk. The first one to raise his voice is Arthur, who asks me with dying curiosity, "How long have you been hunting these beasts for, Levi?" I respond kindly, "For roughly 4 years so far." He inquired more of me. "And what did you do before this career path?" And of course I oblige him. "Well, I ran my family shop, that I am sure you're aware of, and used to hunt game and sell what came of it." An easy transition giving my experience. He nods in satisfaction. Mary then raised her voice to us all. "Well, dinner should not be too long now. The staff are working hard back in the kitchen to serve us a lovely lamb roast." Marcus's face brightens up with excitement and anticipation for such a meal. As we wait longer, I continue to talk to Arthur, and my wife begins to talk to Mary. I decide to ask questions to Arthur. "So what do you do to be able to afford servants and grand dinners, if you don't mind me asking, Arthur?" He was fine with me asking, of course. His facial features and tone of voice did not alter. "I inherited a silver mine outside of Morton. I move to and from their organised workers and all little intricacies and that is needed. Also on the side I work in the local government. Big fan of a debate I am." After he explains this to me, a door to the back opens. 4 female servants walk out with food in their arms, one with the meat, another with the potatoes, another with other sorts of vegetables and sauces, and the last, of course, wine and water. He fills up every glass for us. Every single person thanks him graciously, and they begin to plate up. As we eat and talk still, my wife and I keep trying to correct Marcus's table manners as he eats. He's eating like a savage man, which I don't blame him. The food is succulent and mouth-drooling to eat. I then ask Arthur, so the chief informs me, So I assume the chief has informed you about tonight? Yes, he told me. We are having you to stay the night just for our safety's sake. I fully understand that tomorrow we might need no protecting any longer. So he does understand the full situation. I take another bit of potato, chew, then answer. Yes, this business may be over soon. Let's hope for a fresh future here in Malta. After he finishes his last piece of food on his plate, he asks, I'd like to come with you in the office tomorrow. I want to help get rid of these things. Since what they did to my son, I need something from them. I'm a good shot myself and I can swing a sword if needed. In reply I say, I'll ask the chief tomorrow before we leave and see what he says of the matter. If he gives the all clear, you're more than welcome. He raises his wine glass and takes a drink. I repeat in kind. Once everyone was finished with dinner and discussion, the time reached around 9:30 p.m. Then the Waldron family began to guide us to our already prepared rooms upstairs and show me and my wife where they will be sleeping just in case anything occurs during the night. Then, when it was nearly 10 at night, we all went to our beds and prepared for whatever may go bump in the night. Thank you very much. That is it for part 4 of Another Corpse. My name is Matty G111. Please subscribe if you like this content. Give us a like. I also have a BitChute account. Go check me out there if you want to follow me there as well. Like I said in every video, I hope you enjoyed and have a good one. Catch you later. Bye.